Hello, something different today. I thought I'd show you the cleanup process of these recent flea market finds. All vintage tools in different levels of dirt and rust. So the first process will be to get these two tools in some paint remover. We'll include that one also. And these two I think I will just wipe down. We don't need anything more. And the rest of these, perhaps excluding this one, no, that one also, will get the wire wheel. So here we are again at the paint removal station. We'll have some paint remover on these tools and leave them, I think, overnight. We'll get back to them later. Just a liberal application of some of this gunk. So this one, it's the small wire wheel, and I will be using gloves here because this one isn't powerful enough to cause any damage, and I like to protect my hands more than I'm afraid of getting damaged while wearing gloves. But I do wear a good face mask, face shield, because it can throw items at you quite brutally. Now we're indoors instead because some of these tools didn't get clean enough on the small wire wheel. So now I'm taking them over to the large. And this one, I will not be wearing gloves because this one will take your hand clean off if it grabs the glove. It's a 3-phase beast. So back now at the bench, and let's see what we can make of this ratchet. First let's see if we can get it open. Oh, no resistance at all. That perhaps point to that someone already has tried to fix it. Let's hope not. Okay. It's dead. Two teeth broken off and the wheel itself cracked. And I guess we can also conclude that someone has been here, since I think that it was one of the teeth was already taken out, and also it was not assembled the right way. I guess this is how it should be assembled, but I can't get it to work in this assembly. Perhaps it needs some real lube and not just some WD-40. But however, this is not going to get back together. Sad. So I think I'm not going to do anything more to this. I'm just throw it in the broken tools pile. It's not special enough to warrant any other treatment. That was that with that one. Let's see instead how some of the other tools cleaned up. This Belzer bit holder hasn't gotten any treatment at all. There is some cloudiness that perhaps could be removed. Let's see if the bit holder itself still works. That is not a standard bit holder. But the spring is still there, so it doesn't appear to be broken. Is it some sort of hose clamp tool? Interesting. And this Böker 10mm socket driver doesn't need any wire wheeling either. It has some damage from having the pliers used on it, but that isn't something that the wire wheel gonna fix. This Berg EA Berg water pump pliers cleaned up okay. They have some pitting from the rust, and I haven't gotten all of the dirty oil from cleaning out. What I usually do is blow with an air gun, and that gets most of it out, but it doesn't seem to have worked yet on these. But still, no rust, more patina instead. I think that's an okay result. And these old pair of pliers cleaned up nicely. I think they're all marked Poland and have that logo. I'm not sure what that means, if it's some sort of brand or if it's probably communist era made, so brands weren't a big thing back then. But it cleaned up nicely, and even though it would have been much more fun to get it from a rare brand. I think it's a really cool old design. And then we have these Kongsberg, Norwegian made adjustable wrench. I haven't taken it apart because it works so well. I just took it to the wire wheel and it's not perfectly cleaned up. I think I should have tried to get in there a bit more, but trying to preserve, walking that line of preserving the patina while getting it looking nice. And these Borgis, Borgenstjärna swivel sockets cleaned up nicely. I think these are some of the best looking pair of these I have. So looks quite decent. And these EA Berg combination pliers cleaned up okay. Again, lots of dirty oil left in the joint. But it still looks better than it did. Trying to get that last bit of dirt out of the covers. And when you have this kind of joint, doing the blowgun trick doesn't work. It has to be the looser kind of joints that these type of pliers have. These machine joints are too tight for the air gun to be able to get it all out. They have some cutter damage, but overall looks good. Some pitting from the rust. And these newer Barco slip joints cleaned up okay, but again lots of dirty oil that remains, and I didn't take them apart, so I haven't cleaned it up inside the joint either, so there's still gonna be rust coming out of there for a while, but I still think they turn out nice. And lastly of the, well, not lastly, but last pair of pliers for now, again these Berg flat pliers. It seems I forgot to do the inside of the jaws on these. Cleaned up nicely. Lastly, this old adjustable wrench. Unfortunately, some sort of brand didn't come out when I cleaned it. I really hoped for that it would be a Barco or something else, but I can't see anything, unfortunately. I will try to get the bend out a bit later, just putting it in the vise and bending it back, but with no brands these are not that special, especially with missing the original pin. But amazingly it still works with this wood screw replacement. But yeah, not that special without any visible stamp, I think. So that was that. Oh yeah, this one also. I haven't done anything to these beside a wipe down right now with a greasy rag. So this rag has beeswax on it that usually gives the tool a protective and shiny coating that stops rust from coming back for a while at least. and it gives them a nice shine with the patina. These could get some wire wheeling. There's some. Perhaps if I just had a... No. Let me get... Even though it's nice to have a machine do it for you, minor things can also be done with manual power. Especially when it's not this deep, that deep. So let's clean that up. Okay, let's do the other side also. So then we just can't have to wait for the paint remover. Let's go check on it. So this is like after an hour. You can see how different paints react differently. This green one is done, but which one is... Yeah, they were all pretty loose by now. Perhaps we can take this over to the wire wheel directly. So that's these cleaned up from the paint remover and wire wheel, and I certainly could have left the paint remover for a bit longer, but the wire wheel helped with the almost the last one I see now. So yeah, these turned out nicely. Stallvilla, 27mm of their Stabil pattern, and the Lindstrom 7-inch combination pliers. And what I think perhaps was the best item, this lowercase Hazette speed wrench. And I didn't get it perfectly clean because this shape didn't really make itself that well in the wire wheel, but I think it turned out nicely. For its age, with the lowercase a, it's the pre-1965 at least, if not older, so it's a nice vintage tool. So that was that. One failure and lots of clean tools otherwise. Now, if you were another kind of tool restorer, you would perhaps start going at these with a sander now, but that's not what I do. I prefer to keep the patina instead and just remove the rust. So we'll see how this turns out in the long run, but for now I'm happy with these. Oh yeah, I was going to try to straighten this one. Let's do that now. Well, didn't got them perfect, but I think there was an improvement at least. And
we can even perhaps see what this replacement stops screw is. If this doesn't appear to be unthreading, is it just pushed in there? Yeah, it's just pushed in there. So.
Can clean that up as well. And we can also perhaps remove this roller and see how it looks. That was very lightly in there. Is there any spring on this model? It appears to be a spring model, but the spring is missing. This one I think doesn't need to be cleaned up. looks decently clean in there.
And this rag is something that, yeah, that one can just go back together. That's even a bit easier after the clean, even though it wasn't any catastrophe in there. And this one doesn't appear to be damaged, at least, it's just the pin that's missing. So, if I someday learn how to use a lathe, it might be a project to make a pin for it. Does it look? Is there still any? Is this? It doesn't appear to be any threads in this top part, as it usually is. So is this, are the threads at the bottom of these? Why would you do it like that? Interesting. But still, now this will just be put on the shelf. Anyway, some dried grease on these jaws. And
Something has to keep it there. So, okay. Thanks for watching.